Hi friends, welcome back to my history channel. Today I'll talk about the People's Republic of China. Hope you enjoy. China is a country located on the eastern part of the Asian continent. In Mandarin Chinese, the official language, it is known as Chunghua. China has varied geography with deserts, Gobi Desert in the north and Taklamakan Desert in the west, dense forests, and mountain ranges. The country has many rivers, the main ones being the Yangtze, world's third longest river, the Yellow River, and the Pearl River. Well-known mountain ranges are Himalayas, Kunlun, Tian Shan, and the Qinling Mountains. The western part of the country is very arid and not suitable for agriculture, whereas towards the east there are rivers and plains making the land arable. It is the site birthplace of Chinese civilization. It has a coastline of 14,500 kilometers. To the east, there's the Bohai, Yellow, and East China Seas, and to the south we have the South China Sea. It shares a border with a total of 14 countries, namely Afghanistan, Bhutan, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, Mongolia, Myanmar, Nepal, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Vietnam. Also, China shares maritime borders with 4 countries: Brunei, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Philippines, South Korea, and the disputed territory of Taiwan. Let's talk about the administrative divisions. China is divided into 21 provinces, plus 1 breakaway province, which is Taiwan, 5 autonomous regions, 4 municipalities, and 2 special administrative regions. Xinjiang for the Uyghurs, Tibet for the Tibetans, Inner Mongolia for the Mongols, Guangxi for the Shuang, Ningxia for the Hui. The municipalities are the big cities: Beijing, Chongqing, Shanghai, and Tianjin. The special administrative regions are Hong Kong and Macau, which were former European colonies. The population is 1.425 billion, making it the second most populous country in the world, the capital being Beijing. The official language is Mandarin. The biggest cities are Shanghai with 23.4 million, Beijing with 18.8 million, Tianjin with 12.8 million, and Shenzhen with 12.7 million. China's flag has 1 big yellow star surrounded by 4 smaller ones on a red background. The red color symbolizes revolutionary communist ideology. The large star represents the Communist Party, and the smaller ones represents the country's many national minorities. China is a unitary, Marxist-Leninist, one-party socialist state under the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. China's legislative branch is the National People's Congress, and it has 2,977 delegates. It elects the Central Committee, which is the decision-maker within the government, and it also enforces the law. The NPC also elects the president and the premier. The current president and prime minister are Xi Jinping and Li Qiang, respectively. China's history is divided into 16 periods, from the Xia dynasty, founded in 2070 BCE, to the People's Republic of China, founded in 1949 CE. It is believed that Chinese civilization began around the 21st century BCE, making it one of the earliest known civilizations. According to legend, the first emperor was Yu. He is famous for having built canals to prevent the yearly flooding of the Yellow River. Under his rule, the hereditary office of the emperor was established, and his son Qi was the successor. Thus, around 2070 BCE, the Xia dynasty began. It saw the reign of 17 emperors and lasted until 1600 BCE. The many tyrannical actions of Jia, the last Xia emperor, caused discontent among his subjects. Tang, ruler of the vassal kingdom of Shang, invaded the Xia kingdom and overthrew Jia. Hence, the Shang dynasty supplanted the Xia. The Shang dynasty lasted from 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE, also known as Yin. Immediately, Shang abolished the tyrannical policies of Emperor Jia. During the period that this dynasty lasted, writing was developed and records were kept in oracle bones, more specifically, turtle shells. Also, a calendar system was developed with 365 days and divided into 12 months. Bronze metallurgy was utilized to fabricate weapons. Besides these advances, the horse was domesticated and the chariot was implemented. It was used in warfare. The Shang conquered its surrounding kingdoms, thus expanding its territory. The dynasty had been weakened by repeated battles with rival tribes within China. Shang Shou, the last Shang emperor, was ousted by the rebel leader Wu Wang in 1111 BCE. The Zhou dynastic period lasted from 1046 BCE to 256 BCE. It started with the Battle of Muyi when King Wu led the Zhou forces to victory. This began the Zhou dynasty, which is generally divided into two periods, namely Western Zhou, from 1046 BCE to 771 BCE, and the Eastern Zhou from 771 BCE to 256 BCE. During this period, feudalism was instituted. The mandate of heaven is a belief that heaven granted the emperor the power to rule. If the ruler became corrupt, natural disasters and famine would occur, and he would lose the mandate. The peasants would revolt, and a new dynasty would come restoring peace and security. Gradually, the feudal lords gained more power, and finally the Zhou king, Yu, was overthrown in 770 BCE. Moreover, the capital, Hao, was sacked. Thus, the Western Zhou dynasty came to an end. The capital was moved to a safer location. This began the Eastern Zhou dynasty, which lasted from 770 to 256 BCE, and it is further divided into the Spring and Autumn period and the Warring States period. During the former period, the regional lords vied for hegemony and conquered weaker states, until there were just 7 states. Despite all the turmoil, the Warring States period saw the rise of several schools of thought. The most important were Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism. Confucius formed a culture of respect for the past and tradition. It is a philosophy of doing what you're supposed to do. On the other hand, legalism, an idea developed by Shangyang, a philosophy of harsh rule with a set of laws, that if not obeyed, would incur in severe punishments. Taoism, conceived by Lao Tzu, is based on a person's own morals. The 7 feudal states that remained from the Warring States period kept fighting for total control, until, finally, the Qin state, from which China gets its name, achieved complete hegemony in 221 BCE. Qin Shi Huang became the first emperor of all of China. Hence, the Qin dynasty began. It lasted from 221 BCE to 206 BCE. He embraced the principle of legalism. Hence, he had absolute power. During his reign, he ordered all Confucian books to be burned to guarantee that his rule would be unchallenged. Several improvements were made during his reign. Among them were the standardization of measurements and the writing system. Additionally, the transportation was improved and feudalism abolished. Also, the Great Wall of China was built to fend off Mongol invasions. At his death, a terracotta army was built to protect him in the afterlife. The tyranny of the emperor, Ziying, caused discontent among the populace, which led to civil war. In 202 BCE, an official named Gao Zhu reunited China under the Han dynasty. The Han dynasty lasted from 206 BCE to 220 CE and was founded by Liu Bang. It is divided into 3 periods: Western Han, Shen dynasty, and Eastern Han. Also known as China's First Golden Age, the Western Han period, which lasted from 206 BCE to 9 CE, saw the rise of Confucianism as the official ideology by which the emperor ruled. The greatest emperor was Wu. The westward expansion of the empire and the defeat of the Xiongnu tribes was commandeered by him. Additionally, trade was developed with Central Asia and the Roman Empire. The network of trade routes between those places was known as the Silk Road. Several technological advancements were made during the Han dynastic era, such as the invention of the seismograph, steel, and time measurement with sundials and water clocks. Internal strife and popular discontent led to the weakening of the Western Han dynasty. Eventually, Wang Mang, a statesman of the Han Empire, overthrew the emperor and established the Qin dynasty, which lasted from 9 CE to 23 CE. During his short reign, he abolished slavery and redistributed land to the peasants. This did not sit well with the nobility who reversed his policies. Many natural disasters eventually convinced peasants that Wang had lost the mandate of heaven to rule. Liu Shu led his loyal officers to retake the capital of Luoyang. Thus, Wang Mang was overthrown, and the Han dynasty was re-established under Liu Shu in 25 CE. This started the Eastern Han period. The Eastern Han Dynasty or Donghan lasted from 23 CE, 220 CE. Fighting continued for another 10 years since the territory was ruled by warlords, but in 37 CE, the Han Empire was reunified, and Korea and Vietnam were reconquered. During this period, the iron plow was invented, increasing the agricultural yield. In 105 CE, Kai Lun invented a paper-making process in which rags were used. Also, the process of making porcelain was improved. Taoism and Buddhism rose in prevalence, along with Confucianism. After the reunification, a period of peace ensued. Taxes were lowered and land redistributed among the peasants. Nevertheless, corruption in Emperor Xian's court led to the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Some military generals were appointed to crush the peasant rebellion. However, this backfired since the emperor became their puppet. This culminated in 3 spheres of influence, which led to the fall of the Han Empire and the rise of the 3 kingdoms in the Chinese territory. If you enjoyed this video about China, leave a like, share, and subscribe to my channel.